for the next 22 hours. We are going to be on a bus that takes us from Vienna, Austria all the way to Rome because we need to get to the port in Rome to take our first transatlantic cruise from Europe to Florida. And mind you, this is actually our first cruise together, which I'm really excited about. But anyways, we were trying to figure out how to get from Vienna to Rome, and I was looking at different options, and the flights were ridiculously expensive to Rome. And then I was trying to see if I could find other options. Maybe we fly to Milan or to Venice because those flights were much cheaper, but then we would have had to get housing and then take the train. All those options were too expensive. We found this FlexBus that, yes, it's going to be 22 hours from Vienna to Rome, but it is going to save us $400. So let's see if we can survive this bus through Europe. Underneath just fine, and there's no assigned seats, so we hurried and got in line so we can get on the bus and pick our seats. So we're kind of in the middle of the bus, you know, tight quarters, but our two backpacks fit underneath the seats and we're good. We've got our snacks ready to go. It's gonna be a long journey, but yeah, it's cozy seats. The heater is on, so I took off my jacket right away, but let the adventure begin.
It's been about 3 hours and it's honestly not been too bad so far. And one of the beautiful things about going through the European Union is you don't have to get out and go through passport controls every time you enter a new country. So we left Vienna, Austria at 11 a.m. and then we just now crossed the border and we are now in Slovenia and it's about 2 p.m. This is our first break. I think we're at a bus station so we could get food if we need to. We did bring sandwiches on board and some other snacks, so we're not hungry. There is a bathroom on board, which we haven't used yet. Maybe in the last 2 hours I'll use it if I need to, but not too bad so far because the seats are very comfortable. Like Katy said, they had the heat on, so it's not cold. We're not on winding roads or anything. We're on the major highway, so 22 hours is a long time. To be in a bus, but the first 3 hours, not so bad. I know we're in Slovenia and it's not like we're in Chicago or anything like that, but on the other side of the bus, the undercarriage is open, so our suitcases are all just there, so anyone can just come and grab them because there's no attendant watching over it. He's probably smoking or something. Hopefully no one grabs our thing. In addition, every time we did make a stop, it wasn't for very long, but FlexBus is a weird situation when it comes to booking tickets. It seems like if you get a ticket last minute, like at the bus station, they give you an assigned seat. If you buy it in advance, you do your due diligence and your homework and you buy in advance, you just get a random seat. So every time you're at a stop, you never know if someone's gonna come up to you and say, that's my seat, that's my seat. It's not like people are moving from their assigned seats to a different one. It's just they're sitting anywhere. It is interesting when you book a FlexBus because 95% of the people do not have an assigned seat, so you're kind of just sitting around waiting to play musical chairs to see if you get kicked out by someone who paid the extra amount online or at the bus station to get an assigned seat. We'll see if we get kicked out or not. Let's not miss this bus, continuing on to the next stop. I know I joke around a lot about being a giant, but that's literally the first, I'm actually a little winded, that's literally the first toilet I've ever tried to use where I could not stand up. And not just like a little bit, like I had to basically bend over like this and then pee like that. So I mean, I'm glad there is a toilet in there, especially when we're going to be overnight. Hopefully there's a working one in the new one as well once we have to have our layover in Croatia, but that's it's kind of tight quarters. We finally made it, and actually right on time because it's 4:11 p.m. So it's been about 5 hours since we left Vienna, and now we have our first, well, bus layover really. So we have 4 hours here in Zagreb to explore and see what's going on, and then we're taking another bus from here at about 8:40 p.m. and that's going to take us, I don't know if we're going to go through Croatia still or back into Slovenia, but through a lot of Italy through the middle of the night to our final location of Rome. But in order to see everything, we need to drop off our luggage. So let's see if we can find a spot where we can drop off our luggage for a few hours and explore the city.
Per hour? Okay, perfect. So 80 cents per bag per hour.
Okay.
Okay, so we just drop it off now and then pay when we come back? Okay, perfect. Until like 4 o'clock, right?
It's 4 o'clock now.
I'm sorry. 8
Our
o'clock?
bus is supposed to leave about 8:40.
So 8 o'clock probably?
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, around 8 o'clock. Is that okay? Okay.
What time do they close?
What time do you close? Okay, so 8 is fine. Super easy. It is 80 euros per hour per bag. They're here till 10 o'clock at night, so we'll get it, for about 4 hours. And we just drop it off. They write our name down, give us a little pickup slip, and then we use that to pick it up later. Now we're gonna go walk into the center of the city because we're not in the heart of the city. It's about a 30-minute walk, but hey, we need it because we've been cooped up in the bus, and we're gonna be cooped up in the bus some more. So let's get some blood flowing in these legs of ours. So I'm telling Will, this is a much more affordable luggage drop-off than the one we had in Naples recently.
And I was like, what do you mean, Naples? Why would we drop off our luggage in Naples? That's where my mom lives.
And I was like, no, Naples, Florida, where we just
No,
were.
no, we weren't just in Naples, Florida.
No, not Naples, Florida. Naples, Italy.
You can't even keep track of it.
Well, now you're confusing me.
Oh, okay. Much cheaper than either Naples.
Yeah, but that one was more like $10, I think, for 4 hours.
And it should be $8. And it's really helpful because now we can just go around the city and not have to carry around our luggage at all. And for $8.
For the two of us.
For the two of us total.
Yeah, because Naples was like $10. I don't know. It was definitely, it was like $10 per person or $8
right at the
per
station.
person or something like that. Yeah. So this is a much better option for sure.
Yeah, let's go. One of our main goals during the 4 hours that we have here in Zagreb is to get a souvenir patch. Now, each and every country we go to, we get a patch. Now, I don't count every country, and especially when we go through a really short layover where we're stuck in the airport, or if we're going on a transatlantic cruise and stopping by an island that's not a part of the mainland, I don't really count that. But we have 4 hours here in Zagreb to explore, and we just found our first 2 souvenir shops. And I think that 4 hours in the capital of a country is definitely enough to count it as visiting the country. So this is officially country number 30. We're not in Italy yet, but it looks like there's a family distillery for limoncello. Nice. That was about as easy as it gets. We walked right into, in fairness, the second souvenir shop, but they were right next to each other, and we got our patch for this country. So now we can rest easy for the rest of our 4 hours here. And another really interesting souvenir item that they have on magnets, and I think probably pins and bags, and definitely on t-shirts, are a lot of souvenirs dedicated to Nikola Tesla, who we learned a lot about and almost went to his museum when we were in Belgrade if it wasn't for, you know, certain era lockdowns. But we'll go back there one day and see Nikola Tesla Museum, but it's cool to have all the reminders and all the souvenirs dedicated to Tesla here in Zagreb.
Museum of Hangovers? What?
Well, we don't have time to really experience that.
Wow, there's a lot of museums here.
And the Museum of Broken Relationships, so some of the most unique and interesting museums that I've ever seen.
Wow, this cathedral is really beautiful, and I really wish it wasn't under construction. You've got all that scaffolding up there, which that's a lot of scaffolding, but the bottom part you can see all the intricate details and the Gothic architecture, and then it's like all white, which we really like, so it's really pretty.
We're passing through what probably is like a fruit and vegetable or clothing market that's really active during the day. It's closed right now and they're cleaning everything up. That's why it's not as pristine as it probably is during the day, but looks like we just missed it. We're on a hunt for a restaurant that I have saved in Google, but in the description that I have in my note, it says that it's hidden. Kind of hard to find, but if we do find it, I think there would be a nice food option for us to try. We went up kind of a makeshift set of stairs, and now we're kind of on a side alley, so it's kind of like a little adventure. I like it. As we're walking down this side street, it's pretty cool because it's at a little steep little angle, and there's tons of restaurants that we're passing by, so once we're hungry, there's plenty of options over here. Plus, at the end is that cathedral. It's under construction, but man, when it's not under construction and not covered in scaffolding, I think that'd be a pretty amazing view.
It says here that strukli, hopefully I'm saying that right, is a unique traditional Croatian dish served in most households across Zagreb and some other regions. It is made from special dough and fresh cottage cheese. There are two types. This is what they look like. Truffle paste and pumpkin seeds and roasted pepper would be the savory ones, and the sweet ones would be walnuts, honey, and then another one with apple cinnamon. I feel like we should get one of each.
I think we read that the dishes we ordered take about 25 minutes to prepare because they have to, you know, bake them fresh, which is no problem. It's only about 5:30 and we have until 8:40 until our bus leaves, so this should give us plenty of time to relax. We've already got our souvenir patch, and now we can try some local Croatian food. I also ordered a beer, and she said all the beers there were local Croatian beers, so I got a dark porter. Well, I got a craft porter, and that should come out hopefully soon before the meal comes out. The street that I was walking down, vlogging, talking to you guys, that was steep and packed with restaurants. That was actually the street where this restaurant was, and we did walk right past it, which I had in my notes. It still didn't help. But even though this restaurant was on the main strip, we didn't have to eat outside. There's also an inside area, but the option that we chose was to eat out here in the garden area. So it's a pretty nice garden area. We're getting fresh air. We have Wi-Fi. It took a couple minutes for it to come up for us, but free Wi-Fi. They tell you the password in a couple of different places, and we just get to relax. There's free bathrooms, obviously, because we're sitting at a restaurant. We get to relax, stretch our legs, and enjoy a little bit of time here on our layover. Another pleasant surprise is the last thing that we had to do to check into our transatlantic cruise was fill out a health questionnaire. And we weren't able to fill it out too far in advance, but I finally got the pop notification that we can go ahead and fill it out once I connect it to this Wi-Fi. And we have our craft brewery beer. I thought it might be on tap, but there's a little miscommunication there, but it's in a bottle. It's nice and dark. Let's see how it tastes.
Ooh, look at that.
Has a strong smell to it, yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's interesting. I think a lot of times lately when I've had porters, they've been like coffee porters or maybe a little bit stronger, but still pretty good. And I always enjoy trying the local beer.
Alright, so some peppers. Oh. There's cheese on top, okay.
Just gotta get it all.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is in this. I'm gonna be weird. Yeah, because I knew there was like cheese, but I wasn't sure like what else was with it. So it's like a doughy, there's something doughy in there. Alright, I'll try it all together now. That's too high. It literally comes out sizzling, and they put it on a piece of wood with the, thing so it doesn't get burned. So I just tried the savory one. Definitely taste the cheese and whatever the other thing is, and a little bit of pepper. It doesn't taste the same, but it reminds me of the consistency in the plate that we had on one of the dishes that we had in Albania, which is freguese, which is similar with some kind of cheese and peppers. So yeah, it's really good. And we'll try the sweet one. Steaming. Wow. Don't put that in your mouth. It's gonna be too hot.
Right. Here we have the dessert one of apple and cinnamon. Two revolutionary concepts merged together for the first time. Anytime something comes out and it is bubbling, it's usually gonna be pretty good. You might think that, hey, we're gonna split the savory one and then split the dessert one, but I'm probably just gonna eat the dessert one. Let's try this.
Don't burn your mouth.
It doesn't seem like you're eating cottage cheese, it does seem like you're eating dough, so that just tastes like a really, really good apple pie. We are back at the bus station after exploring Zagreb, and it's 8:22 p.m. Our bus leaves at about 8:40, and we're here at the bus station at 4:02, which is where our ticket says to go. Now there's a big board of arrival, so you can see when buses arrive and what time, but there's no electronic board of departure. So our ticket says that we leave out at 4:02, and we're at 4:02, and we're at the only bus station I think that's here, so should be okay. And our last bus, everyone was leaving like 30 minutes early, so it's only like 15 minutes until we leave, and the bus is not even here, but fingers crossed we're fine. We got our luggage from the luggage container, and that was all good. It only cost us €6.40. We thought it might cost about like €8. So we have our stuff, we've explored the city, now we just gotta wait for the bus to arrive. Thanks, God.
Don't mind this mess. We've been actually on the bus for 23 and a half hours because it is now 10:30 and we should have arrived at 9. But we've made it safely, and that's all that matters. So the first leg of the trip during the day, it was perfectly fine. After our layover in Croatia, we got back onto the bus and we started venturing off. And the difference between the first leg of the trip and the second leg of the trip is I don't think the driver's changed, but this driver just loved to hit on the gas, and he would like slam on the gas every so often, or the brake every so often, and I definitely ended up getting a little bit more motion sickness than what I had thought, especially as the night went on, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And so I had a hard time sleeping, unfortunately, but Will, who usually is always concerned about sleeping, was able to just fall asleep. Not until after we had to go through border security crossing over from Croatia to Slovenia. We didn't have to do that the first time. I'm not sure it's because this time we had a lot more people on our bus that didn't have European visas or European passports. They had like visas to be around, so they had to get checked. So unfortunately that took some extra time, and that was about at 1 a.m. So I figured, okay, great, let's fall asleep after this. But the rest of the roads after that through Slovenia were very windy. And for me, once I'm already feeling motion sickness, and motion sickness medicine isn't gonna work, so I just had to suck it up and deal with it. Tried to fall asleep, but you know, that's okay. Made it through. It was good that once around the 4 o'clock stop, a lot of people got off the bus, and so there were a lot more open spaces, so I ended up just taking another seat row to myself so I can actually lay down more comfortably. Will lay down a little bit more, and I think then is when I finally was able to fall asleep. So maybe I got like 4 hours sleep, I don't know, but we have made it. So I just have one question for Will. Was this worth saving $400?
Absolutely, I think it was worth it, because any other option would involve flying, and then I wouldn't be able to sleep, and then maybe the panic of going through security and all that stuff. Really, besides the passport check, it was pretty good, and it was probably like the second best long distance bus journey that we've been on, next to Turkey, where they had really good air conditioning, and they gave you water, and they gave you cookies, and you stopped every couple hours, not just to randomly find a place to pee and pray to God that the bus doesn't leave you because you have no idea how long the stop is for, but actually to stop at places to eat and, you know, be able to stretch and buy things that you need. So I feel like that setup was a little bit better, but yeah, I think this is definitely better than flying into, you know, Venice or northern Italy and taking a train down, because we've already did a train, so this is something different. And I think that the ability to save over $100, maybe over $150 from a hotel in Rome, which is not even going to be that nice, made it worth it, especially on the later part of the journey where we can both kind of lay down and stretch out. It wasn't a bed per se, but it was kind of like sleeping on a friend's couch, so I think that was much better.
Thank you so much for watching our long journey through Europe.
This is WITY Travels.
What could possibly be next?